Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the GOWEN Racing Podcast here on the channel. As usual, you have myself, Jay,
Hello.
Eddie,
Hello.
as well as Matt.
Hello.
Us four are here today to talk to you guys about some Cup Series racing, some potential Xfinity and Truck Series racing from this past weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We have a bit of stuff to touch upon on the Nitro Racing League over on the Xbox side, as well as we're going to start things off today with talking about some new NASCAR 21 video game news that kind of came out recently that we have or that we're looking forward to, as well as some iRacing changes that have just come up. As you guys know, we do like to touch upon the gaming aspect, being big gamers ourselves. So before we dive into anything, like I asked at the start of last week, anyone have any changes in the last week? Are we all still doing good?
I'm just still fine.
Still
Still
fun?
Still
vibing.
just vibing.
Still vibing. Eddie, how's the Twitch affiliate been going the last week?
Busy as hell. Oh my god.
You've been streaming a lot.
Oh man, I think every day for the last week now. I just took off yesterday for the first time, but that's it. I mean, I got way too much I still gotta do. I got like a bunch of stuff I gotta upload. I got like maybe 15 videos still have to be edited for YouTube and stuff. So, I mean, I'm busy.
We've been doing those online races, and that's been a lot of fun.
Tomorrow should
The
be
public
interesting.
lobbies, yeah.
Yeah, suddenly become a TikTok king off of those online races.
We got the birthday stream tomorrow, so that should be
Oh
fun.
yeah. Happy birthday to Eddie. Say that in the chat if you're watching live. You can watch live on Eddie's Twitch channel at King Outbreak. And of course, you can listen on Spotify and whatnot. And we had our most popular podcast so far has been the one with Garrett Maines. At least on Spotify and stuff, had 21 plays. Woohoo! No,
Woohoo!
the last one was 15, I think. Last time I checked, like 2 hours ago. So that was from last week. So, yeah, we're gonna jump into things though here. So we got some NASCAR, the video game, 2021 news on your way. So, if you guys know Motorsport Games, they are developing the next NASCAR video game, and that studio just acquired Studio 397, and that is the company that is known for making the R Factor video games. Have any of you boys in here played R Factor?
No. Absolutely not.
No.
I have not.
I
We
never
know
had
you.
it. Yeah, I mean, I never had it before, but the news came out and I got onto it and I made a video on it, and I definitely like what I felt in the car. But basically, with Motorsport Games acquiring the studio, the main thing to look for in the next NASCAR game, what it seems like by the interviews and whatnot, is just the feeling and the physics of the car are going to be similar from R Factor over to NASCAR 21 or whatever it's going to be called. They haven't officially come up with a name for it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be NASCAR 21. But I played it myself recently, and like I said, I really enjoyed what I felt. It felt, I mean, I'm sure you guys can agree. Like, if you, I mean, Karma or Matt and Eddie, they and Jay, all of us play on a wheel, and I feel like we could all agree, kind of, when we drive now. Say we're correcting a car, the input we put in on the wheel doesn't necessarily match what we expect maybe the car to react like. Would you guys agree?
Not
No,
even close.
it's pretty not the not the funnest experience trying to correct a car in NASCAR Heat 5, let me tell you.
Nope.
Yeah, a lot of the times you'll put an input in and then the car will just snap in the opposite direction and it just
Silver, for example.
yeah.
But
Get wicked loose on the exit of 4 every time, and the car just wants to go a different way, apparently. You still can't correct it because it just wants to go straight in the safety barrier.
literally the only way to like correct looseness in the game is get off the gas or hit the brakes, and that's not how it generally
And
works.
I feel like as well, and just the current physics we have, is the cars don't properly slide around.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they
Um,
slide, but they don't do it in a way that you can control. It's just once they're sliding, you're just along for the ride.
and from playing R Factor myself, like I've noticed the input. I said that in the video, like the input I put in the wheel when I'm correcting the car and whatnot feels the car reacts and responds exactly like I expected it to based off of the input I put in,
Yeah, you
and
just
you got to drive the
with
car.
Yeah, with a NASCAR heat side of it, it's just you feel like you don't have the control that you normally would have with other racing games in the steering wheel. You're turning the steering wheel, and obviously you can see the car reacting, but you don't feel any kind of you don't feel like you're driving a car. You're just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna put this input in, and I hope it's the right amount because you don't really know because you don't get the feel of the car.
And yeah, I mean, even in R Factor as well, the car was slipping around a little bit for me, and you were seeing like or like in my video you might have seen it, and like throttle control was a very prominent thing from my experience and whatnot. There was grip loss and you had to kind of manage that, I mean, currently we can just hammer the throttle and go. um and I think it's going to be completely different in the next NASCAR game. From just kind of what they've said in the interviews and whatnot, I think this is going to be a very good direction, and very sim based NASCAR game, but still very accessible for an arcade casual player with the assists that they're going to be providing. But Jay, right off, I'll start with you. Like, what do you think about I'm sure you've seen this kind of new direction they're heading with the news and stuff. What do you think about it and like how it's going to be?
I'm very excited for it. I know that a lot of people always kind of give hate, for lack of a better term, to 704 and to all those guys for making the game kind of way too arcadey and all that kind of stuff. But they're only 5 years now into having the game, and we see the improvements they've made from when they first got it back to NASCAR Heat 5. It's a lot better than NASCAR Heat Evolution was. So I'm really excited, and I've always had faith in them to continue making the games better because up until the last two games, which obviously we know they didn't really do much development because A, new console coming out, and B, they lost pretty much all of their development team. So I've been excited for them to always keep stuff new and keep stuff fresh and give us a really good direction for the game to go. And with them acquiring Studio 397 or 396, whatever it is, um, and getting a new physics model and a new actual like engine, at least what we assume a new engine to run the game on, it's got me really really excited for what could be coming in the next couple of games, like an actual paint booth back and maybe some weather stuff and like an actual maybe like good replay system and like a broadcast system and really good like tire model and physics and all that kind of stuff. So it has me extremely excited for where the game could go.
I should mention, you mentioned the tire model there. Matt, you would know the Ben Crazy, right?
Sort of, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we
He
raced
did
against him in the core, and Matt Chaffee
and
knows him.
well, he was in a couple nitro races.
He was in a couple nitro races.
And then
But he is very well known for being an iRacer, and from hearing his kind of feedback, he actually thinks the tire model and whatnot from like the R factor physics are way better than iRacing, which really makes me happy to hear. So I'm really interested to see kind of how it's going to be. Like it almost could be a little bit of like a competitor in terms of sim racing with this new NASCAR game. But I mean, Matt, you saw the news. I mean, what do you think about this whole kind of new direction it looks like we're going in with the new game?
okay, I think there's one thing, something that the one thing that it's not concerning. It's I think people need to slow down their the gas pedal, that hit the gas pedal is hard right now. Because what, it got announced a week and a half ago or something at this point or something.
About that?
Um, if they just got them, which I'm assuming they didn't, because deals like this take time, so I'm assuming it's been done for a little while at this point. But the game's still supposed to come out this year. So let's say they just started working on the game right now. How much are they really gonna do?
I think, and Gary, I think has more on this than I do, but I'm pretty sure that they mentioned in their interview that they said that they had already been working with that studio and were already going to have the
Okay.
physics implemented at least somewhat for this next game, and then they're
Okay.
going to
Okay.
probably expand on it more.
Okay. Now I'm a little more comfortable.
From
But
from
yeah,
what
no,
I'm aware,
I don't think everybody should expect it to be a full simulation when this game comes out, because obviously it's still aimed towards pretty
I don't
much
want. I like. I
any
don't
NASCAR
want it.
fan to play it.
I don't
I don't
want it.
want it. I don't want
I
it
don't
to
want
be
it to be
either. But
iRacing. Like
Yeah, I don't want it to be a hard simulator, at least not right now, anyways, right off the bat. And I don't think
I
I don't
want
think people should expect it to be. It'll get there probably eventually, but it certainly won't be that way this time around.
I don't think they're gonna go that like in depth to make it a full-on simulator, but I mean they could try to make it close. But I don't want to see like a
I
replica,
want
literally.
The
I,
best thing
I
to
want
compare
it.
it to probably would be F1, because
Yes,
that's technically a simulator, but it's also arcade, and the average fan can play it and have a good time and stuff like that. So
can make it arcade.
Say what?
You can make it arcade. That's like the big thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that
which is kind of what they were saying that they would do with this, is they were saying you have simulation factors to it, but there's for also just for like the kids or the casual fan or whatever, there's going to be assists and things to make the game still feel arcadey.
Or more accessible.
yeah,
Yeah.
Easily accessible.
but like also for me because I league owner here, but like I want like let's be honest. I think if we're all honest, NASCAR E5 does not excel in the league racing department.
It's online. His online department in general is kind of it
Well,
doesn't
it's
excel.
fun.
No.
It's fun if you're playing casually and just not giving.
Well, yeah,
Like,
no, but I mean, just like feature wise and everything, it's just
oh
kind
yeah,
of basic.
but like how the game plays in general doesn't lend itself to the greatest league race, IMO.
Mhm.
But
What do you think, Eddie?
I mean, I want to see it do good. Like, because we all know it's been not. I mean, we can all agree it hasn't been the greatest the last couple of years with how the game's been ran. I mean,
I mean, for me, I've enjoyed it.
no, yeah, but like it has that like kind of like arcadey feel to it, and it's like for people that are like competitive like myself and like other people that want to do like league racing and stuff, and if they want to promote like the competitive scene as much as they do now, I think they gotta make it a little bit more better for the competitive scene to where they don't have as much like to say after the races, like because now all you're seeing them is just complain about how each other's racing, how bad some of them are dealing with the physics and all this other, whatever. But I think if they want to make it to where this game can actually do something in the future, they need to make it as close as what they can to a competitive racing game. I kind of agree with Jay on the point to where they should make it kind of close to F1 because F1 I think is probably the best racing game right now out there besides iRacing if you want a PC. But if you're on a console, I think F1's the best game for console right now. But like we have Project Cars 2 and all that, and a set of Corsa and all those other games. But I think F1's the closest thing that they should look at to compare to make the next NASCAR game with because F1 just has all those physics that you want in a natural race car. You can feel like the grip loss. You can feel the weather changes to the car and everything. You can feel like taking out how much fuel, whatever, and what it does for the car. Like you can make all those certain adjustments, and you can feel the impact of it. Like I just want to see that kind of change in the next NASCAR game. Like I want to see the grip levels of the track fade. I want to see like different lines, but I know we probably won't get it. I know it's highly unlikely we get it. But I mean, from what I've seen from this department that's gonna be taking over that you showed from what was it, R Factor, their name, right? Um,
The game, yeah, the developers
yeah,
of that game.
yeah, the developers of that game. But from what I've seen you playing of that game and stuff, I mean, the physics look good. Like a couple of tweaks and you know misconjuices around there and whatever. But I think it could be good if they take their time and work on it, and make it what it should be.
Here's the
Right.
thing. I think we'll probably see some new features come in with this new game, but you got to remember if they're moving it to a new engine, that's a whole new thing for them to build around and basically starting from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
which they've had 2 years to work on, and then basically said they've been doing that. So they obviously have been taking their time on it, and there's potential for new features, but don't expect the world out of this new game. Just be excited that it's on a new engine with potentially new physics, and then they'll have that as a foundation to build on in coming years. We've seen 704 expand a lot of their features pretty quickly. So even if there's not a whole lot of new ones in this next game, I would imagine the NASCAR 22 or whatever it's called, there's probably going to be a good bit of new features and more developed physics and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not expecting the world in this next game, but in the coming years, I think the game will turn out to be pretty good and have a lot of the features a lot of people are wishing for and hoping for.
I think after playing like myself and stuff, I think some like influence we might see from R Factor in the next game. Like, of course, I think the thing that's going to be really prominent is just the straight up physics and handling of the car and the tire model. But I think we will also see some influence where there was full on dynamic day to night transitions in our factor. I think we're going to finally see that in a NASCAR game.
Thank
Uh,
God.
I'm at least I hope, but
I mean, the last two EA games did.
you got to look at the past games were on the Unity engine, right? So it's so much harder to implement a full day to night cycle with this racing game, as well
But
as
yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive with what
with
they
what they've done
with
with the engine they have.
essentially a mobile game engine.
Yeah. And like we've been wanting like a weather system, or I've been wanting a weather system with like rain that can affect road course racing or something. And again, the Unity engine so hard to do.
Or like Eddie mentioned with the temperatures affecting the track and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
that's one thing for me that would be amazing to have is the grip level affected by the day to night transitions if we get those, and whether the sun is out or there's clouds or whatever. So I think that's another thing I think a lot of people look forward to, including myself.
And when
I
I
like
was
different weather.
Yeah, when I was on R Factor, there was also this like real track thing or something. This setting, but like from what I'm aware, it's like the track changes over time. So I'm like, if that was in the next NASCAR game, where like basically the track is changing throughout the race, and you have to adjust the car throughout the race to meet the changes and stuff to continue to be fast, that would be a huge feature to have. I think. I think there's a chance we're gonna get some weather in the next game. By the way, just by playing R Factor, but um, the biggest thing I really want is as for myself as a career mode person, um, in the current game, you go to a track, you make a setup, and that setup works from here on out every single time you go to that track. I would like basically the track temperatures changing and all the weather
Yeah.
and atmosphere changes to change the track every time you go there, pretty much. So you have to change the setup every time you go to that track again to meet what the track is like that time for that event, instead of bringing the same setup and being guaranteed a front runner no matter what, because the track never changes. And like I'm sure you guys could agree with that one.
Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Even for league racing, that'd be cool.
yeah, the thing with like I've been asked like why don't we do setups? Well, first off, it takes for us it would take us no effort to make a setup because like I will go to youtube.com and type in X track setup for whatever race we're going to, and boom, done. I would love for it to be like, all right, you have to make a setup, but based on the weather, it would definitely change on how you have to make the car and stuff. But
I mean, like, yeah.
I also just, in my opinion, for the type of game that NASCAR Heat is, I don't want to put the time in to make a setup. If it were a game like iRacing, I'd 100% take the time to put in the setup because A, I know it would help a lot, and B, it's just because I know that it's a simulation game and a competitive game where I want to put time into it. NASCAR Heat, you pick it up and you go and racing in the online lobby and get wrecked on the initial start of the race. So
Yeah.
it's just a different world, and it's like
Yeah.
it's not a game where you want to spend time putting a setup into.
also,
Right now,
honestly,
anyways.
a setup in NASCAR Heat 5, in my opinion, would probably make it even feel worse in the sense of we're basically already on rails at most tracks. I don't even want to be on more like on rails. You know what I mean?
It's just not
I've never
fun.
tried a full setup, so
Well,
honestly, I
No,
can't
but, like,
say whether
I
that's
can
right or wrong.
talk from experience on this because I did setups before when I was trying out for the Pro League thing last year with Combat, and we were running like these custom setups that our buddy was giving us, and it was a lot different than what we drive now with the presets. Like it feels like the car, like you can just adjust anything on it, but it's like you can make the biggest changes, and it drives a ton better than a preset does. Like it doesn't feel. I bet you if I had a custom setup for Dover. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, the custom setup we had for Dover last year, our car wouldn't get loose off of 4 like we did when we ran the presets for the other day for Nitro. It never got loose one bit. It always drove straight because you could affect like the what was it? I forgot. There was a lot of stuff you could do with it, but I mean, a NASCAR heat setup compared to an iRacing setup is a lot more different because a NASCAR heat setup is pretty easy to go through because I mean everybody makes them basically. iRacing setups, on the other hand, is basically on preference of the driver. That's the difference because iRacing it
That
takes
too,
so
yeah.
much more.
Because like a big thing with like iRacing is I think Jay doesn't really have experience with it, but like, if me, Gary, and Eddie will all have very different tire wears, how hard we run, how we run, and we all can be around the same speed. Because for me, for example, I don't drive in corners very hard generally, but other people drive in really hard.
Yeah, I do.
But I don't like doing that.
Hmm.
That's not how I. That's
Like you might have a different breaking point than this person does, or you might have a different feel of how you feel on exit than the other person does. You might have a different line that you run than the other person. You just gotta adjust to whatever line possible. Like this guy might like a short run car better than a long run. This guy might like a long run better than the short run. Just a lot more different. Like NASCAR Heat, your car stays the way it is for that whole race. It doesn't change at all. iRacing, it will change over time. That's the thing.
Yeah, the only thing that happens on NASCAR Heat is you get old tires and you just have to use less throttle. That's it.
Well, that's the thing too, but it's like when like comparing from last year, and I haven't tried it this year, so I don't know how much different it is from last year, but when I tried it last year, old tires really didn't change much with the setups. I mean, I can concur, the races we did weren't that long. Like they were like I think like 50 laps or something like that when we did them, and you had to run like the fastest times and whatever and finish the greatest out of each other, but still, it was like you can throw on new tires, old tires, it still kind of drove the same, but it's like it's not as comparable in my opinion to iRacing because iRacing is just a completely different machine.
someone in your chat says I'm a career mode guy. I don't care if they change physics. They need to change something with career mode. I agree because it's been the same since NASCAR Heat too.
I think
I think the baseline
that
is great.
career mode will be solid.
Yes, that's the
We
career mode expert here.
we don't know anything about it yet, but I have high hopes personally. But I mean, we still don't know a whole lot about it.
They've shown to focus quite a bit on career mode, so I think it'll. I think it'll get. If it's not like extremely good in the next game, I think they'll probably develop it
But
to
it's
go
like
far. Because, like I said, feature-wise, I'm not expecting a whole lot from this game just because of the physics and engine swap that they've had to go through.
what can they change with career mode that can make it more interesting than it has been in the last couple of years though? I mean, like I know it's been the same thing with like the dirt, the trucks, the Xfinity, and then the Cup. But like, what can they change?
Okay, I got a good one. It's simple. One of the biggest things they can do. It's a simple. Well, it's not really simple, but like it's just a simple idea. Presentation.
Yeah.
You think doing F1 career mode, interviews, big like cutscenes,
Pre-show.
pre-show stuff. And no, I'm not counting your career mode where Rick Allen says, "Welcome to the Daytona 500," blah 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 for 30 seconds. That's not presentation.
No.
That's
And like
a
where
poor.
F1 has a
That's like here's a tiny thing. But literally, just look at F1 career mode, and that is what you want in a career mode.
and where F1 has like a full a full team owning mode that's like set around owning a team, and there's a whole lot of things you have to do like get sponsorships and upgrade the team and all that kind of stuff. Where NASCAR Heat, I mean, it kind of has that, but it's at a way smaller scale. If they made that a lot bigger and focused on like a my team thing a lot more, I think that would create a whole lot of interest in that because that's what a lot of people want to do is have like team stuff and have a lot of control over that and those kinds of things.
And,
I want to see driver changes happen too. Like I don't want to
yeah,
see like just us change,
That's
but like
hard.
actual
I don't think
drivers change.
Driver changes will probably never happen in a NASCAR game. It's this whole sponsor thing and all this stuff that it would just I think it would cost them honestly too much money because sponsors would probably want to be paid or receive some kind of compensation
I
for allowing
think
their drivers to go wherever they want or their sponsor to be on have whatever driver for them. So I don't think that'll ever happen. It would be a really cool thing, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
I think it really like legitimately depends on the size of the company. Like F1. I mean, I remember they talked about it a few years ago when they finally brought that into the series of how much harder it is to accomplish something like those driver changes in F1 compared to NASCAR. But Codemasters is so huge that I mean, it's a lot easier to make that happen. And with the size of like motorsport games, I don't think that we're going to be able to see anything like that happen. But I think if motorsport games gets really relevant, they can pull it off.
I wouldn't
I think the
expect it for a
biggest
while.
thing, honestly, that would keep it from happening though is just like I say, like sponsor stuff and trademarks and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it would ever. I don't think it would ever happen. Brands wouldn't allow it to happen.
Yeah, like Tyler just said in my chat, he's like driver changes, being able to hire drivers, being able to do a part-time schedule, hire drivers to your team or non-point races.
My big thing is let me start a custom team without me having to drive on that team at
Yeah, I agree.
Formula One 2020, by the way, as well. Because I skipped out on that mode simply because I was like, I'm not driving for my own team. That's just boring.
Yeah, I
But
agree. It's a fun mode, but I would like it. See, the thing is though, is I don't think we'll ever see that happen, simply because games that do that, like uh, Motorsport Manager, they're like management games, they're simulation games. If you did a mode where you're not driving, you're basically just simulating, and that's not the type of fan base that Codemasters and F1
yeah,
has.
but I'm saying
So
let me drive
I
for
don't think
another
we'll see that
team.
happen in a NASCAR game either.
Let me
Yeah, I don't
drive
see
Oh,
for
why
in
you
another
in
can't.
team
race.
while let me drive for my own team, and I'm going to implement this in my own career mode with mods, where I'm going to be driving my own team here, but also own a team on the side and have an actual driver, and that needs to be a thing in any racing game, in my opinion.
And
Um,
we've also seen that a lot. That's like something that doesn't happen in F1, but it happens in NASCAR. Obviously with Kyle Busch, with Kevin Harvick, with now Denny Hamlin. Obviously not until Denny Hamlin, none of them into the Cup Series, but it's still a thing that's happened before. So I guess that's a good point. That, it's also something realistically that's happened in real life, and they could put it in the game.
I mean, but other than that, we don't really have a whole lot of more information right now. But I mean, I'm sure over the next couple months, we're gonna start hearing a lot more news about the upcoming game. Probably it's usually like May, June kind of area. So I would expect
Oh yeah, the
something
big one
around
I'm
there.
forgetting about, Dale Earnhardt, obviously owning his own team in Cup and
Oh yeah.
having a successful team, also still driving for RCR. So
But either way, I think I'm personally looking forward to this. What appears to be a new direction for the future NASCAR games, and we were comparing it a little bit to iRacing. We're not saying it's going to be like iRacing, but there was some comparisons there thrown around. But we're going to jump in to a little bit of an iRacing side of things for the gaming stuff as well. I know Eddie and Matt have a little more information. I'm very new on this. I didn't even know there was an update coming until today. I saw there was an update or something.
Season 2.
Season 2. Yeah, you guys got any update on what the heck's going on there?
Bristol
So
Dirt.
Bristol Dirt's here.
I'll only be doing one race on that.
Well, shockingly, they don't appear to have a fun week because it's the week 13, so all the fun stuff is up there. There isn't a just Cup Car Bristol Dirt for fun thing this week apparently yet, which is shocking. But yeah, Bristol Dirt's here. The dynamic tracks.
Uh huh.
Apparently they tried to fix some of them today with varying results. Apparently rim riding around Richmond is the fastest way around the track right now. I can't confirm it because I haven't done it, but like right against the wall, like you would at like Kansas or something, is the fastest way around Richmond right now, which is bizarre.
Auto Club's multi-groove, I heard.
Yeah,
Like 3 lanes different.
Yeah, I've heard people rim riding Auto Club too now.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I was watching Casey Curlin do Homestead, and the top is very relevant. I know I think they said like a couple laps, but
Shouldn't
other
it
than
get
that,
better?
I mean, they said that it can last for a couple laps, but like the middle's still like the relevant side. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Other tracks I know that have apparently changed. One is Atlanta. I know they have, but I don't know what they did. Kansas.
Apparently they messed around with Charlotte. I think it's
Yeah,
broken, they said, or something like that.
I've heard Charlotte's been changed too.
I heard they broke it though. Like it's not like it needs to be fixed.
Like
Something about
what do they do?
They said something about the grip levels. Apparently, like it's a bottom feeder the whole race. It's basically like driving around in trucks. Like it's basically just gonna be single file. Like
That
there's
sounds
no
like
way
that sounds
anybody can make anything work.
sounds like Charlotte, to be honest.
Pretty much. But I mean, I don't know.
Then Kansas has been updated, but I don't know what they've done there. I
Um,
hope they made the bottom a little better.
I was told from what I've heard so far on Twitter, apparently they made the top very relevant, like more relevant than it has already.
God,
and apparently the bottom lasts longer than it did before. I don't know.
That sounds
It's,
bad.
it's just a lot of things they changed, and it's gonna apparently a lot of people are getting used to it again. Apparently, it's like a fresh scratch all over again. You have to learn how to drive the track again.
Lovely.
That's literally what it feels like. But I think
Maybe
the big
Phoenix
thing.
will be as trash.
I don't know, hopefully. But I think everybody can agree the biggest thing that they added, they fixed side drafting. Side drafting is now relevant in super speedway racing.
Yes. That clip of Malik Ray just getting on the guy's quarter panel and him like that car on the bottom
Yeah.
literally like the
The
stopping is hilarious.
The only thing I'm not crazy about is like you can't really push anymore now in Cup,
What
which is weird. I don't know. I guess like apparently with like how the air works now, like you can get the guy really loose in front of you if you hit him at an awkward angle and he's just done. Like you have to be perfect or else you're screwed. Like remember like what we were doing in that one league race before? Like you would be like on my left rear, just barely tapping me, but like almost basically square even, hitting me.
I got so used to it. I wasn't scared of hitting in the turns.
No, that would spin me out now. I was told. No matter what, because of how the air works.
Well, that makes now I'm like absolutely terrified that they put iRacing Super Speedway on the schedule now.
But now also I heard Malik say earlier that clean air is very relevant in super speedway racing. You will feel like absolute garbage if you're behind a car.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Jay
got very intense.
No. Jay just beat me an 8-ball here mid podcast.
Oh my god. Well, my buddy CJ just redeemed channel points to have the whole party call me a forehead. So.
Hey, was there any like tire model changes at all?
Basically what we went through.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, actually, no, I can agree. Casey said that the top now at Homestead doesn't wear your tires out as much.
Oh, that's a game changer for me.
Yeah, 2 weeks too late. But no, I think there's minor changes, but generally it's gonna be the same ball game at most tracks.
I kind of hope they fixed around with Phoenix a little bit. I haven't heard nothing about it, but I would love to see.
I don't think that was a track they didn't touch, but maybe with like the tire model stuff
that's what I'm saying. But like the tires just feel awful at Phoenix.
Yeah, I know New Hampshire has AI now. There's a few tracks with AI. I just don't remember them off the top of my head.
I know they added for GT3s.
Oh.
And they added a whole separate series for GT3 now, Gary. I forgot to tell you. So GT3 has its own class now.
See, I want more iRacing AI tracks because I would like to do a series eventually with that.
I think they added like the whole GT3 class.
It's coming along though.
I did not say series.
Could you try again?
I did not say no. Ignore that.
Guest appearance from Siri.
I know. iRacing put out a video. They were showing they were doing AI races at Road Atlanta with the Porsche GT3s.
Ooh.
So I know that's one thing they definitely added. I know they added a lot of AI stuff. Oh, the new damage models. Oh, and the new late model, which I'm definitely gonna try later.
That I'm never gonna touch yet.
The late model, trust me, if you are a short track fan, race the late models, which is basically me written all over it. But they have a new damage model for the Indy cars, the street stocks, and the Monte Carlos and Thunderbird. Dallara, yeah. But what else did they do? I guess they did some stuff with the replay system, I guess too, I was told. And the
cameras were updated at some tracks too, but
yeah, they updated some cameras, which is good.
And then NIS is at Phoenix this week, which is gonna be absolute pain. Oh my God, I'm not looking too forward to it.
I've been in top 10 every week so far. This is the one where I'm like, there's no chance.
I choked a chance of a win away Sunday night, but at Vegas. But Phoenix is not our best tracks, I would say.
I've ran a few fixed races there in Xfinity cars, Cup cars, and every time I've run there, I've been terrible.
I can confirm that they did add funny stuff for just a couple. I don't know how long is it gonna last, but they still have the figure 8 thing at Irwindale with the Mazdas and fun. The Lucas Oil offloads.
ARCA Road Racing all week.
Yeah, it's ARCA Road Racing all week. They have Silly Send It, which is basically the street stocks, Monte Carlo and Thunderbird against each other at South Boston.
Well, that changes every week, every day. Track changes every day.
Yeah.
What road
And
course is Arca going to?
right now
Uh,
it's at Long Beach.
Oh,
no, ARCA cars. They're at Watkins Glen, Roval tomorrow, Sonoma,
I was watching
Daytona
somebody do
Road
Long
Course.
Beach earlier.
It's not that.
Damn.
Daytona Road Course is the 12th.
well, I'm interested in that one. For the road racing.
Got a couple Sonomas, a couple Rovals, got some Watkins Glen.
Interesting. Was there any other changes before we move on that are notable?
No, I
think that kind of touched on the majority.
I guess we'll find out what's going on with Atlanta next week, Eddie, huh? With PSES, right?
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, Gary, I think we might be interested in March 11th for GT3s because they're at Long Beach.
I do like Long Beach.
Yeah, I do like me some Ferraris.
Beautiful track, but not only is it a beautiful track, it's a fun track.
The funny thing, it's every GT3 car. It's the Ford GT, it's the McLaren, the Mercedes AMG, the Audi, the Ferrari, the BMW M4, and the Lamborghini Huracan.
Interesting.
It's every GT3 car.
I'll stick with the Ferrari. I'm most comfortable in that.
Exactly.
From like project cars, literally to iRacing.
And
but
they do have a Bristol thing right now too. Could confirm.
Yeah.
But it's only for the dirt sprint car 410s.
Oh yeah, no thanks. I let the least dirt racing as possible for me. NIS will be interesting, but I'll definitely have to throw in at least one test race.
We're definitely gonna. This is gonna be the odd time where we go ask Blake for advice for some dirt racing.
I asked him already, so I mean I'm still waiting on him.
David Schildhaus, when we did the Core All Star race, told me to put the steering ratio of your wheel to 360.
What?
Your steering range.
Yeah, for when you do
like
dirt?
for my wheel, it's 900 degrees rotation. But he said turn it down to 360 for dirt racing.
Oh, okay.
And I did, and I was immediately faster. I wasn't very fast, but I was faster. And it made a difference because the car is just easier to drive all around. You don't have to turn the wheel all over the place, so it's just more convenient on the dirt track. So
that could be awkward, but okay.
It worked pretty well. So
according to one of my viewers, Tyler, he says looking now at AI tracks, they have added Las Vegas, New Hampshire, Oval, and Road Course and Auto Club.
Nice. Okay, gets me more interested.
And they added apparently, well, I think it was in there for a while, but I just noticed it recently. You can basically make a season if you want with the AIs to just make
that's what I want to do eventually.
Season thing.
But I'm waiting. Yeah, I want the whole Cup schedule to be made with like AI cars on every track.
I've been waiting a couple of years on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll be dead before then.
Imagine.
But I guess we'll move on now from the whole gaming aspect of things, which was it was nice to talk about that again because we really haven't had a whole lot to talk about. And once, of course, we get more NASCAR 21 news or a big iRacing update, we'll touch upon that in a future podcast. But we're going to move on to some IRL stuff here. We did not have a Coca-Cola eNASCAR iRacing Series race, so all we had this weekend was the Cup Series and then the Xfinity and trucks and whatnot at Las Vegas. Well, actually, was there any Formula One car reveals that between the last podcast and today?
No, but we get Ferrari tomorrow.
Yes, there was.
Aston Martin and then Haas F1 Russia team.
No.
Okay, so the Aston Martin was way better than I was anticipating. It looks beautiful.
Agreed.
As a Sebastian Vettel fan, I cannot wait to be teammates with him on F1 2021.
Their fire suits are fantastic.
Yeah.
The little pink shoulders.
The pink isn't horrible, surprisingly.
I will say, so far, that's my favorite livery of the year. Not as a biased Vettel fan. I think it just straight up looks the best so far.
I disagree.
AlphaTauri would like to have a word.
AlphaTauri is awful.
Alpine has entered the.
Alpine's a close second. Alpine is a close second, but the Aston Martin's simple and clean.
I would like to jump in.
Are we?
What do you got?
So today, I don't know if you saw, I just posted in the chat from Instagram, but I was reading that article apparently today when I woke up. I guess Volkswagen is very interested in joining the F1 season, like in the next coming years.
Oh yeah, Jay, I think sent me something like quite a few people are interested.
It's Volkswagen, Bugatti. I guess what was it, Jay?
They were wanting to enter it with one of those brands.
It'll be interesting to see if that goes
Maserati and some other stuff.
What about the
That'd
Haas
be cool.
livery?
They said okay, so it said
Oh.
that they were interested in entering F1 with either Porsche or Audi.
That'd be cool.
Is what they were
Yeah.
looking at.
What about the Haas livery?
This is for Mother Russia.
Russian national anthem, please.
Yikes.
Big yikers.
I saw it was being looked into by some affiliation.
We still say no to Mazepin. Or whatever the hell the
Mazepin?
guy's name is.
Mazepin?
Yeah, that one.
Mazepin?
Mazepin.
Mazepin,
Man,
whatever,
Mazepin,
whatever.
Same
how
shit,
the-
different story.
I don't know how to say his last name, but I don't like him.
No, I don't.
I feel
I
bad for
think
Schumacher.
if you like him, honestly, if you like him, you have problems.
I feel bad for Schumacher.
I do. I mean,
My man's gonna go through a struggle.
my friend said it best. With Mazepin, whatever the hell his name is,
Mazepin.
and whatever this paint job, livery, whatever you want to call it. I really do hope they finish last this year. I hope they are terrible.
Yeah, I think Williams is gonna blow them out of the water.
Please.
Williams'
I
car
like
looks
Haas
better.
so much, and I really
That
like
Williams
for
looks
Haas,
terrible.
especially with Drive to
I can't.
Survive and like how much I like Gunter Steiner. But
I can't.
The only one I
they've
support.
turned themselves into a joke at this point.
The only one I support on Haas is Gunter Steiner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunter and Mick are the only two reasons I had to pull for Haas.
What's
Other than that,
the Russian word for wanker?
I don't know, but that sounds like a Lord of the Rings character. What Gary just said, to be honest with you.
Gunter Steiner, baby, he's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like
He's
Dumbledore.
literally the star of
But,
Drive
like-
to Survive.
But like, the FIA is like, you can't have the Russian flag on the car.
They found a
that's not the
workaround.
FIA. That's
Are
not
you-
the FIA. That's like every sports organization. The Russian flag is banned from everything.
Yeah, but
Awesome,
yeah,
my beer.
okay, but like, are you seriously telling me that isn't the Russian flag?
It is, but they're working around it somehow.
And you notice how they have the American flag on their car, like small as shit, but all in black. Like you barely can see it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like very small. Like right on the
Really?
drivers, right on. I think they were posting about it. It was like right on the left side where like all the decals are. It's like black and like very faint white.
Oh my! I
So
do see
faint.
it. I do see it. Wait, it's
So-
backwards.
Yeah, it's a.
It's
backwards
always
American
it's always
flag,
been like that on the Haas car, backwards.
but it's like so faint to where you can't see it.
It's
I-
just really weird.
I don't know what Haas is doing, man. They're so bad.
Yeah, it's like
You
the
should have fired.
last.
You should have
And I don't
fired.
even. I think I saw where somebody said that the colors they put on the car aren't even the colors of the brand, like that they got sponsored by.
Yeah, I mean, I look at them as like a self-sponsored thing now,
That's how they
but
get
like
sponsored by a freaking candy bar.
to me, like I thought the low point for them was when they lost Rich Energy and had that huge downfall, but no, it's gotten even worse.
Yeah, it's
somehow,
gotten worse now.
which
Yeah,
is
Mazepin
unbelievable.
signing was the low point, and then the livery is just
Yeah.
even lower.
I've lost a lot of respect for that team. Probably the least respected team for me on the grid, other than Gunter Steiner himself.
Yeah.
But the Williams livery got revealed too. That thing, in
Yeah,
my opinion,
Yeah, I think
I
so.
like
in
it.
my opinion, that's one of the worst ones I've seen so far.
Really, I like it.
I kind of agree. Like I haven't. So far I have a love hate relationship with that livery because I look at it from one angle and I'm like, oh, that's nice, and then I see another and ugh.
I
Yeah,
haven't
all
been.
I'm saying is, if you put blue, I'm attracted.
Blue looks good on F1 cars, but I've only liked a few of the liveries so far. Like I've been disappointed so far. I liked.
I've liked pretty much all of them.
I
honestly think as the field in general this season's gonna look really good.
I mean, Alpine, Aston Martin, and Mercedes, other than all the AMG logos, are the only three that I like so far.
AMG.
Red Bull just needs to change their livery.
Yeah, I don't count Red Bull because
Mercedes
it's the
looks
same
good
thing.
except for the
But
AMG stuff.
Um,
AlphaTauri looks good. Alpine looks good.
The
Haas is a joke.
Alpha Romeo actually, I like it.
that one's not bad.
Yeah, I like Alphas too. Yeah.
And
But they're-
Have you guys seen how huge the numbers are on the Aston Martin car?
Yes, they
The
are.
numbers are massive.
It's pretty funny how
You'll
big
be able to
they
see the
are.
They're
number.
comically massive. They're huge.
Huge.
When's Ferrari? Ferrari's the only team left.
Tomorrow.
Hey guys, I'm gonna make.
I thought it was the 20th.
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
see it on
I'm
the
gonna
Instagram.
make- Hey, guys. Guys, I'm gonna make a prediction. The car's gonna be
red.
red.
Yeah, oh
Yeah, I
baby.
think it's gonna be red.
I think they're gonna add like a white stripe to it or something just to match it out.
They need to go back to like the 2018-esque look.
Yeah, we're gonna have a talk with them. They can't just take their spotlight on my birthday.
And go away from the matte finish, because in 2018 with the red
What?
gloss,
Yeah, let's go
gloss,
metallic.
the gloss or metallic red in 2018. Oh my god.
The
let's
matte
go
with
metallic.
the black last year.
No.
Looks so good.
It looked bad in 2019. It looked bad in 2020. Okay.
I could paint a
Oh,
car better. I
oh.
could paint Haas, make them look like clowns.
Gary here once again with his trash opinions.
Cars matte finishes can look good on race cars, but not with red.
I just thought of something.
I think that's really all the F1 stuff we got going this week. Though.
I actually just thought
I think
about something that
actually
we
the
really
preseason
should.
testing is this weekend.
Yeah, but I mean it hasn't happened yet, so we don't know anything about it.
I
Other
just
than
thought about
Verstappen's the
something.
first one to go out.
And this, two things. Mercedes. These are the two outcomes. Mercedes is fastest, or Mercedes is sandbagging.
And either way, they will still win the championship. Who cares?
No, Lewis Hamilton.
Hamilton.
I want to point on this is Bottas is like really hyping up his new mindset again that he's done the past 3 years, and then they're claiming him
and
to
then
be
he wins one race and then immediately just
Well,
becomes a lapdog again.
they're claiming him to be in a Rosberg type mindset where he's not gonna like take any of Lewis's crap. I'm like, the dude's gonna get destroyed again.
Okay, first of all, he's not Rosberg. No one could ever have that Rosberg mindset because he didn't give a crap at all what the team thought. He just did what he wanted. And secondly, he'll bow down to whatever the team wants, and what the team wants is for them to not compete and Lewis to run away with it and do whatever he wants and be the top dog of the team. So that's not going to happen.
I think Bottas wins 1 or 2, and that's it. At the most, I wouldn't be surprised if he went winless. Just because of like I don't know.
Valtteri will find a way to win.
He just had like, in my opinion, like a downfall at the end of last year, especially when Russell destroyed him in Bahrain.
He won 2 races last year.
Like George Russell hops in that car for the first time and just destroyed Valtteri.
Let's be honest though. Lewis won the championship last year, and I think his most like awful season to date. Like he had so many issues happen and so many things happen last season.
Yeah, he only won like
still
3/4 of the season that time.
man, he's really struggling.
He broke the all-time win record, tied the all-time championships. What a rough year that was, man.
Yeah, let's see his win. I'm gonna look at his.
It's over 100, isn't it? Or no.
He didn't win 5 races, 6 races, because one of them he had.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, 17. He won 11 of 17.
Would have been 12 probably if he didn't miss that one.
Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
not good enough. We got to do better.
I don't think we'll see that dominance happen again this year. But I mean, he's definitely still winning the championship.
Sam Carr.
No, I mean, I don't think we're gonna see him win. Like,
I think
96% of the races, but he's still winning the championship. That's a guarantee.
I think Red Bull will win a couple more races just because they actually
I think Red Bull's
they're gonna have a driver that can actually back up Verstappen.
You think Perez wins? Serious question here.
Maybe.
I put a maybe on it.
At the very least, he gets a lot of podiums if he doesn't.
I think he gets podiums, but maybe on a win.
I think McLaren gets their first win this year.
Honestly, if we have some crazy races like we did in Italy and whatnot, where Gasly won and stuff, then it could happen.
No, like that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's gonna be Daniel Ricciardo though.
I really hope that Ferrari pick themselves back up and at least show to be competitive this year. Because I want to see Sainz do good, and B, obviously, with my favorite driver being Leclerc, I want Leclerc to do good.
I hope Sebastian Vettel destroys them,
even with the trash team. But
I hope Vettel beats them every week, win some races.
Yeah, I hope for some redemption for Vettel too.
He's gonna put Leclerc on the wall every time.
Treated by that team.
So sad. 1 win in the last 2 years. Hopefully we can change that.
Okay, a lot of that was his fault. This was not.
Not in 2020.
No, but 2019.
Canada was. He won Canada.
Races.
He won Canada.
Yeah, that one wasn't his fault. That was the FIA. F the FIA.
The what?
He was gonna win Russia, and then the engine was like, nah, fam.
No, Ferrari was also we need to have Leclerc win that one too.
Yeah, but they were telling Leclerc couldn't even run him down.
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
Sebastian was driving away, and Leclerc was still complaining about Sebastian being in the way. I was like, what?
He did that almost every race that season,
Again.
which is the only thing that I like. I
Yeah,
dislike Leclerc for.
Is it NASCAR? Is it Cup race time?
Yeah, let's move on to the Cup
Okay,
race.
yeah.
We're already at like an hour, but I mean, honestly, there's not a whole lot left to touch upon.
I know one thing we're forgetting about dramatically that was just announced today. The rumor that NASCAR is looking into doing the same thing F1's doing with the Drive to Survive stuff, like looking at producers for that.
All right, let me give you a quick answer from all of us. Do it.
That's literally all we need. Yeah, do it.
Well, please do it.
Yeah, that'd be big. Hopefully by the end of next year. They wouldn't do it this year because we already
That would
started.
be fantastic.
That'd be great.
It'd be a better look for NASCAR than the crew crap they got going now. Which we watched a few episodes together, and me, Eddie, and Jay did.
Thanks for the
we forgot we were all in the party together. We did not really like it.
I mean,
I'm gonna finish the series,
I mean,
but
it was okay. Like Kevin James is a funny guy, so anything he does is all right.
Yeah,
but
Kevin James makes it interesting. That's where he is.
still,
Everybody else
like,
is meh.
I give it a
looking at Drive to Survive and then looking at the crew is kind of like, bruh.
Like going from realistic stuff to
like
comedy.
It continues that same trend of Formula One destroying NASCAR in every aspect, in media and stuff.
Just like the racing aspects of that show are just they make me
so
cringe out of my body and to the moon. It's just it's bad.
I mean, we're doing a watch party for season 3.
Race real quick.
All right, let's move on to the Cup Series.
I call it a movie. I'm gonna say TV shows, but anyways.
I mean, we're gonna do a watch party for that anyways for season 3 probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Coming late this month. I can't wait.
19th.
The 19th.
Moving on to some Cup Series racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Finally, it was an interesting race in my opinion. I mean, we've only had 2.5 mile races this season. That was best 1.5 mile. I think it's the best. I think it's second best race of the season so far.
Best racing so
in
far.
my opinion, it was the best intermediate track we've had since the package came out. Like that was the best race we've had.
We had 3 wide racing. There was some 4 wide here and there on restarts.
Right off the start.
Yeah, it was 3 wide for the lead, and then I remember I think it was in the final stage. It was 3 wide for the lead for like 5 laps, just about. It was either in the final stage or stage 2, which was really
3
nice.
wide, 2 rows deep for a moment.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes.
It do be wild race.
And what? If I'm
came
not
out of nowhere, considering the package hasn't really changed much in the last couple of years of Vegas.
I am not surprised. I'll explain why I'm not surprised this happened. This good race actually happened. It was cool weather. Every time there's been cool weather with an intermediate track with this package, the race has been good.
That's true. You bring up a good point. That is true.
Was
And I think some of it might also have to do with R&D hold. I still hold true to that, thinking that the R&D hold this year is.
Jay holds his opinion on the R&D hold. So the lead changes. Wasn't there more in that race than the Daytona 500?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
there's more in Vegas in the last like 11 years, they said, or something like that.
It was in the first 2 stages alone. There were more lead changes in the first 2 stages than this race last year.
But yeah, there was still overall more than the 500 too, as well, right?
Yeah, there was only 20. I mean, it wasn't hard to do that when they just raced.
Well, I was gonna say that just shows how embarrassing the 500 was. Such a low point. But yeah, a lot of lead changes. Hendrick Motorsports looked pretty solid. William Byron led a few laps. Kyle Larson, of course, led a lot of laps. And won the race. That's the big thing, obviously, is Kyle Larson won stage 2. And then in stage 3, once he got the lead, he ran away with it and couldn't be touched. Almost threw it away with a pit situation.
Tried to choke it.
Yeah, he tried to choke it in typical Kyle Larson fashion. Almost missed it, or did miss the pit lane. And then he was able to get back onto it the next time, and he was fine. So he went on to win the race anyways. But I think it was just a huge statement from Kyle Larson. But I mean, what's your guys' opinions on him coming back and getting the victory in just his 4th race back in NASCAR? And I mean, he was gone for a year.
The fastest new Hendrick guy to win in a race.
Yeah, I saw that in the highlights video.
Beat Terry Labonte by 1.
But like,
first thing I'll say is not surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I expected good things from him, but he won a lot sooner than I thought he would.
Honestly, yeah, maybe a little bit sooner than I was thinking, but not a whole lot faster. Because I mean, I think pretty much everybody has always thought throughout Kyle Larson's career, you get him in a top cup ride, and he's going to win races and contend for a championship. And I think he's showing that already. That he's going to do that this year. I mean, we're what 4 races in, and he's been fast at every single one.
Yeah,
Could have won the Daytona Road Course if
Hmm
he didn't full send it and choke. So
could have won all of that too.
Miami, he was fast.
He was fast, but I don't think he was winning fast.
No, he wasn't Byron fast.
Or Reddick.
yeah,
I honestly think Hendrick's the best team right now, in my opinion. I'm not saying that
they've
because I'm a
shown
Chase
to be
Elliott
so
fan, but
far.
I think I think right
Awkward.
now it's Hendrick and then Joe Gibbs. Right now.
Awkwardly, you can make a case that Chase Elliott's been the weakest so far.
You can.
Yeah, he's been. Yeah,
I
he's
can,
been
I
the
can
worst
agree
one
with
so
that,
far.
but it's like freaking. It's just unfortunate luck. I think it's literally championship hangover right now for him. I honestly think it is. But like, I mean, we're going to one of his better tracks next week too with Phoenix. So I mean, I hope he does better. I mean, I said that last week too, but it's like freaking.
Uh,
Was that
that was Jay's mic echoing there.
Jay?
I think he died or something.
But like I was saying, no, but Chase Elliott is like, I think he's gonna be good. I think like I was watching a video. They had like Kyle Long and a couple others on it, and they were doing like some kind of talk about it about Hendrick. And they were like, who you think is gonna win the most races out of Hendrick organization, Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson? And one said Kyle Larson, the other one said Chase Elliott because Chase Elliott, of course, with the road courses and all that. But it's like, I mean, we saw Christopher Bell at Daytona Road Course. I mean, anything can happen to be honest. But like, I think Kyle Larson right now is the most dominant Hendrick guy right now. And
I
I think
think Larson
No.
at the mile and a half can absolutely be the best Hendrick driver. Road courses, I mean Chase Elliott hands down, but I think mile and a half, short tracks, I think Larson's going to be the best guy.
I mean, you can argue Larson's a good road course racer too, though. I mean, he is.
Yeah, I mean he was up in the mix there, and he's proven in the CGR car he can qualify good. He's gotten poles at Sonoma, but he could never put a race down. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. But I think Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson are going to be extremely powerful weapons for Hendrick Motorsports, and I think they are both very equal on talent in stock car racing, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they're both going for the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Which-
they were even arguing if Larson's favorite to make the final four, and they were both. Everyone said yeah,
Martinsville is in that round of 8, isn't it?
yeah.
So if that's his first problem there.
Good night. Oh, we'll see what he does in a Hendrick car at a
So
Yeah,
is
I mean,
Kansas.
that's another
So is
thing.
Kansas though.
I think Larson is a lot like Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch. He's one of those generational talents that you just sit back and watch and just in amazement at what the guy can do in a race car.
Yeah, I
Seeing him
remember
in top
too.
equipment is gonna
Hmm.
he's gonna shine.
Yeah, I remember too. Kansas is on that schedule, and you know that's a highline track, depending on what the weather and everything's like there too.
Dover.
Plus,
The longer
and
the older that track gets, the more better that Highline's going to get into the
the only
point.
negative thing is freaking Texas is still there. I don't know why we haven't gotten rid of that yet, but I mean, shit.
Yeah, Texas sucks.
I can't stand it.
Worst track in NASCAR.
But Kyle Larson, like, I look at the tracks he won it in the 42 car. I'm like, oh my god, like, it's clearly what
Bristol.
Like, he's
is he gonna be? Is he
he's
gonna be able
gonna
to be
oh my
stopped
god.
at Bristol? Like he's gonna have the
I
whole
tell you,
field
man.
lapped in 50 laps there, man.
That dude is proving. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, Kyle Larson's a great driver, but I was like, this is gonna be like where we really see what he's got.
Hendrick in general is really good at Bristol, Jay. Low key. Like
A
every,
lot of good drivers at Bristol.
I think each Hendrick guy besides Byron finished in the top 10 mainly. Like you look back at the All Star race, Bowman led a bunch of laps. Freaking Chase won it. I mean, I could just imagine what everyone's gonna be like when we go to short tracks.
We'll
Bristol
see.
dirt though, that's gonna be
I mean,
something else.
Hendrick. We know that Hendrick is a good team at Martinsville too, so maybe that's just what Larson needed is to have a team that knows how to set up a car for Martinsville, and we'll see him
Yeah, I mean,
and win a Martinsville race. So, I mean, you never know, honestly.
It's very believable that Larson will go to Martinsville, and an example would be Kenseth. When he was at Roush, he was terrible at Martinsville. He was garbage. yeah, Kenseth never won Martinsville, but like once he went to JGR, he was always in contention at Martinsville. So like,
I think we
changed
can make assumptions based off of what he did with Chip Ganassi, but I don't think we're going to be able. I don't think we've seen what Larson can really do at all of these tracks yet until we see him actually go there and see him put a race together there. Now that he's in top equipment, so I mean, somewhere like Gary mentioned Sonoma, where he's gotten poles before but just never put a race together. Maybe that had to do with equipment. Larson knows how to run the track, but maybe the car just wasn't set up to run a race well.
And the crew
So you
chief.
know, yeah.
he did
So
actually.
maybe we'll see him go to Sonoma this year and get the pole and dominate the race. You never know.
That's if we
So
go.
it'll be really exciting. We should be going because they're allowing stuff to happen now.
Oh,
I
that's-
Oh.
honestly
Just
think,
announced this week they're allowing
yeah.
sporting events.
The way I'm seeing you guys operate over there right now, I'm not going to dive into my opinion on that, but yeah, all the races will be fine this year. I don't want to give my opinion because I saw a packed Philadelphia Flyers stadium on Twitter, and I was so upset over that. I wanted to just rip into everybody that went to that event, but I'm not going to give my opinion.
Well, it's like they're announcing now. It's like basically they're in the discussions now. Like if you have the vaccination, like you can be able to not wear a mask now anymore. But like, I think that's blown off a little bit. That's just for up here by me. But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did
that's what
see a
they're
thing about that.
considering
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Um,
Yeah,
like
no,
they're
the
thinking
CDC
that.
did mention it the other day.
Yeah, but well, that's things we don't talk about.
we could have a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
But
watch
yeah,
it.
we're not going to talk about it.
We don't
Yeah,
talk.
let's not
Gary
dive
doesn't
into
want to
that
talk about it
conversation.
because he'll piss someone off.
um, but
Anyway,
yeah, Kyle Larson's
Well, we see
fast.
enough of that conversation anyway, so let's talk about other stuff.
But
Anyway.
actually, I want to mention one thing about Kyle Larson with the whole CGR Hendrick thing. One thing that like we mentioned, like the polls and stuff at Snowball. One thing that was a common trend, and I noticed it at Martinsville. He would qualify well there as well. But once the run got going for a certain amount of time, once he got into the long run, he had nothing. And that
Who you
was
talking about?
Larson at like Sonoma, Martinsville
Oh,
back in the
yeah,
Chip
yeah,
Ganassi
yeah.
days. Like
That
he
kind of
could
happened
do.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with Hendrick Motorsports. They know what they're doing with like long run cars and whatnot. I think it's going to completely, like now that I think about it, completely change the game for him.
well, like
Yeah.
not even that. He has 1,000 times better crew chief than he had before. I mean, I honestly think Cliff Daniels is the most underrated crew chief in the NASCAR right now. To be honest, I think Cliff Daniels is a smart man. I mean, really. I mean, just listening to how he talks and maneuvers with the car, and like you can listen back on Larson's like little winners weekend thing, like what they do with the winners, and you hear like their radio and stuff, like basic simple stuff. Like every crew chief should ask, "How's your front grip? Like you need this in the long haul. How's this? How's that? And all that." He knew what to do with it, and I mean, Larson never complained once about
I
it.
just want to say something. I just want to say something. Is this the 48?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
the same team
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson drove for the last few years. I was about to mention that myself because it's interesting.
Like I've been a believer of Jimmy was. I don't want to use. I
Do
don't
you
wanna
think
use
the Pocono crash caused it?
We'll never truly
I don't
know,
know.
but
Just remember that team hasn't won since like Dover of like 2018,
17.
17. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I watched the video like about like that Jimmy Johnson Pocono crash, and
and
like
the results.
it's a very convincing video, because everything after that crash was just downhill.
Like he had a concussion and just hid it like Dale Jr.
And I mean,
Yeah,
I believe it could have been what caused it because he won 3 races that season up until then, and then boom, that crash like a week later after his final win, which I mean Dover or whatever.
Yeah. Well, here's
I,
the thing. Here's the thing with that. See, he had 3 wins up to that point, which is I'm looking at Wikipedia. In 13 races, he had 3 wins. He only had 5 top 10.
Yeah, it sounds like in the first 10 races, equivalent what he could do in 36 in the last 2 years.
So I don't know. I don't know. Something happened to Jimmy. Did he get washed up? Did that Pocono crash fuck
I
him
also
up?
think the package too kind of influenced it, at least in like 2019, 2020. It didn't
Yeah.
match his driving style whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like interesting seeing Kyle Larson hop into what Jimmy just drove, and now he's been running so well and he's won a race. Makes me sad for Jimmy, to be honest. But Yeah, I mean, overall though, I mean, other than Kyle Larson winning, I do want to mention one thing. Do you think this is going to help his sponsorship
Yes.
capabilities?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've always thought all along that as soon as he starts racking off wins, he'll get sponsors attracted. I'm sure sponsors have probably already been looking at him and wanting to sponsor him, but they just needed something to make them pull the trigger. And seeing him winning and having the support of the sport is probably enough for them to start sponsoring him now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anything comes out of it here in the coming weeks. I know he's got Cincinnati and Freightliner,
Yeah.
but we haven't seen those cars actually debut yet. I don't know when they're going to
I
be
mean,
on
if
the
Eric
car.
Almirola can get more sponsorship and hasn't won in who knows how long, I think Larson can get one.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric Almirola is one more recent than Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, what, one race?
Hey, you win a plate track? That's not a flex at all. Michael McDowell can win a plate track. That's all I need to say.
Michael McDowell.
Michael
Man's over
McDowell.
here throwing shade at Eric Jones.
Well,
about
Eric
Matty
Jones
D?
won at Darlington as well. I mean,
That's pretty impressive.
yeah, I mean it is.
Eric Jones has a top 10.
We're
now.
gonna compare Eric Jones here in a few minutes, but before we touch on that, I want to talk about Matt DiBenedetto. He is.
Please,
Where
God.
did he finish?
How are you feeling, Jay? I finished 16th.
All right, how are you feeling, Jay, as a Matt DiBenedetto fan in this make or break year for his career, where he's had such a tremendous start?
Want some liquor? Want some liquor before you get your answer?
Paint. It's all paint.
Could it get worse for Matt DiBenedetto?
Hey, I got some good news, Jay. Just give me a second. I gotta find it real quick.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
We're switching to Chevy.
No.
To answer your question, Gary, you finished 16th.
Oh yeah, no, he
Yeah.
stayed out on those tires. That's right, but
Yeah,
still
the
got a
whole
way
thing-
worse finish
The
than he was
whole
going
the
to.
whole thing was they screwed up on the left front, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just
Well,
let
they didn't
the
screw
tire
up.
on.
The gun died.
Yeah, so they just let it go with the one old tire, but they
He
had
did a
3
good
new
job
ones on.
bringing that tire home. Okay,
And
tire should
90
have been
laps.
tire should have
90
been gone,
laps.
man. I mean, we saw David Starr blow a tire on way less laps than that.
Is he gonna put that shit on his resume?
Well, Jay, I do have that good. I do have some good news. This week, Matty D passed the powerhouses in the point standings known as James Davison, Josh Bilicki, Joey Gase, and Jamie McMurray.
I knew that was coming. I figured you were going to talk about points.
He finally made the top 30. All right.
I mean,
I
it
mean,
could be
I
worse.
say he's in the top 30 now.
Could be worse. You're about even with SHR as a whole.
Oh, let's talk. Yeah, let's mention that Stuart Haas Racing is garbage right now.
They were terrible.
Like not just this past weekend, but like
Harvick's wash. Put him out.
No.
He's ready to be. He's starting to focus on broadcasting.
Start the
He's ready to go
conflict.
broadcasting.
I don't want to say like it's all bad. Like Cole Custer was in the top 10, then something happened to him at Homestead. Then he finished 23rd. I don't know, but he was like almost top 5, and something happened at the very end.
Let Tom.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Chase Briscoe is performing to my expectations, and then Eric Almirola is Lamar.
It's doing Almirola things.
Even worse.
Almirola, give
blew a
me the
tire at Las
Almirola.
Vegas, wrecked himself at Homestead.
Cleared himself at Homestead.
Daytona, he got wrecked. Daytona Road Course, never even saw him because he wasn't relevant. I mean, the only times he's been relevant this season when he's crashing.
Sorry, Jeff, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Love you.
I'm sorry, Eric Almirola doesn't deserve that ride, and he's proven it again already the first 4 races. But yeah, SHR, they're not. I mean, Harvick, of course, still leading the train.
But he was horrible.
Well, I'm talking about the first 3 races, not Las Vegas.
But no, he's been fine.
Yeah, he's been top 10. I was just looking at it. He's been like top 10 in the first 3, even at the road course.
God, they were.
Yeah, they just completely missed the setup at Vegas. Like, missed it hard.
It's not a good thing even when your boss is there watching the race too. Gene Haas was at that race too. He's like, what the F was I watching?
Your champion's running like mid-20s.
It's like every time. Like literally, I watched Drive to Survive the other day, season 2 with Jay. Freaking, he showed up to the F1 races and they just drove like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not surprising.
It's like it's already looking like a typical SHR season where Harvick has no problem making the playoffs, and the other 3 have to fight for their life to barely get in, and then they'll get eliminated in the first 2 rounds.
Honestly, with how bad it's been a start, none of them make it.
Harvick will make it.
Besides Harvick,
Yeah.
Harvick is a completely different entity to the other 3 drivers.
In my opinion, well, I mean, Eric Almirola's not a great driver, but like the Stewart-Haas team, it's always like, to me, it's been Harvick and then just the other 3. Like the other 3 cars, in my opinion, just aren't that great.
But I mean, personally, I feel like, how good is Stewart-Haas?
Exactly. Really? I don't know. I don't think it's as good as we make it out to be.
I genuinely don't know if at this point if it's the equipment or if it's the drivers.
Both.
Like we haven't seen Custer running other equipment, so we don't really know how he is in Cup stuff. Chase Briscoe is just getting started. Almirola, we know he's not a top talent. He's just there because of sponsorship money. And then obviously Harvick completely dominated last year, and then this year's kind of he hasn't struggled, but he hasn't been the same Harvick as before either, and he's also aging, so you would expect that. So I don't know if it's the team or if it's the drivers. Like I mean, we know how good Harvick is, so he's the outlier there. But it's kind of the same thing at Chip Ganassi. Like when Larson was there, he was outrunning the equipment, while Kurt Busch was, showing kind of what the equipment can do, like top 15, top 10 every now and then. Although I will say over the last couple of seasons, Kurt Busch has looked really good, and I will say I think he's kind of like one of the most underrated drivers in the field because I think he's outrunning that equipment by quite a lot too.
Well, I mean, his son's got more wins than him so far this season, so prove me a point.
Kurt Busch's son?
No, Kevin Harvick's son.
XD.
Kevin Harvick's son's running go-kart. He's won 3 races.
I don't care about Kevin Harvick's son. He's not going to have success in NASCAR.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like 8 years old.
It could actually be extremely talented.
Not even that old.
I don't know.
But yeah, I can't. I could. I don't. I kind of want to throw the SHR thing as a off week. Like they just completely missed it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because at some point, age is going to catch up with Harvick, right?
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
It might be this year.
I saw Joey.
I don't think there's a chance that he comes back next year. New package and everything. I think he genuinely retires.
I think he has a contract due next year, doesn't he?
No, it's
does he?
No, it's I think 2023.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he's got a few more.
Surprises me a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So aside from SHR, Eddie was mentioning that Kevin Harvick's sons won 3 go-kart races. I saw Joey Gase won a go-kart race last year. That shows his potential in the Cup Series. I'll never forget that post after that whole situation with Kyle Busch.
I also just love the media saying, "Man, JGR is struggling."
Yeah.
I'm just like, all 4 cars finished in the top 7. They're really
rough day.
Kyle Busch was complaining about the car being really slow, but yet he goes and finishes 3rd.
No, he said that while being in 3rd place.
Hey, that was
a piece of shit.
Hey, that's just a your typical Kyle Busch moment.
I mean, Combat makes a good point. SHR is kind of running like SHR and Nitro. Pretty true.
I mean, he's stealing my line because I've said that before.
Yeah, I mean, just that one race. I mean, like Harvick. I don't think anyone's worried about Harvick.
No, that's his first non-top 10 of the year.
Yeah, it was just bizarre.
So
Michael McDowell went back to reality check.
Yeah, I was so glad that finally happened. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Michael McDowell! He's gonna run mid-teens to 20s all year long."
They still have him ranked 3rd on the power rankings.
Yeah, no, the guy's not gonna do anything the rest of the year. Just like Eric Jones had a fluke top 10. Same thing. He's not gonna be doing anything the rest of the year.
Hey,
there's still 5 road courses left in the regular season, Gary.
Hey, Gary, where was Daniel Suarez all day?
It's a brand new team. How long has that 43 car had to get good? Like decade?
At least Daniel's led some laps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Based on just staying out because.
Hey man, it still counts on the leaderboards.
Clean air at some point, brand new team.
I will admit though, so to get on a different topic, I think one thing I'm surprised about so far is we've seen Trackhouse perform better than 23XI.
Yeah, except for yesterday in Las Vegas, we didn't get a good idea.
Actually, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's gonna be probably unpopular opinion. I am starting to be very worried. I know
Well,
they had an early issue, but even before then, they couldn't even get the top 20.
so
I still,
yeah.
I'm not gonna like still act like, or I'm not gonna act like Bubba's the best driver in the world and should be getting top tens no matter what. But
Oh,
I
good.
mean, it's highly possible that the team is. I mean, it's obviously a new team. So some teams, I guess, just like they take off better. Like Trackhouse is obviously taking off a lot better than 23XI, and it may not be that they're bad. It may just be that they're taking some time to get acclimated to everything.
I have a
And
quick
obviously we've seen
question.
them have issues so far, like getting started and going. And I think what was a fuel pump issue or something like that this
Yeah,
weekend at
Power
Vegas.
steering.
So
Power
yeah,
steering.
but I'm
There's
just
a
saying,
belt on the
even
power steering.
before then, because I made it clear, I want him to be good. I want him to win a race. I want him to be very good. But I am concerned because they were not good at Homestead, and up to the point before the issue, they were not looking good at Vegas.
Let me ask. So I missed the start of the race, so I didn't actually see the issue yet. But where was he running?
He
not great.
was
Lower
still in the mid-20s, but I
Uh,
mean, it was they didn't even get to the green flag, and he had to go down pit road. It
No,
was a. Oh, I thought I saw him on pit road before the
no,
green.
it was like 25 laps into the race it happened. So,
Uh,
but like,
it was around the time of the competition caution.
yeah, and like, I'm just gonna say, like, you can, like, Eric Jones started 29th, and he was already in the top 15 basically by the competition caution. So, like,
I mean, same thing with De Benedetto. He started in the
yeah,
30s
yeah,
and went
same
into the
thing.
top 10. But
So I'm like,
like I still think
it's
though that it may just
JGR
have something to
equipment
do with the
though.
team.
I
Well, okay,
personally,
so it's the thing that no matter how good the equipment is, it's still like a new team in general, and they're still new to working together, and the crew chief is still new working with Bubba, and they
I
don't have practice. They don't
yeah, the
have
thing
practice to get the things that they want to
get,
do. So
I'm just having concerns.
it's not a
yeah, no,
driver
I
problem.
agree with you.
It's
no,
not
I
a
it's
driver
agree.
not.
I
problem.
don't.
The thing I read about it, apparently, like, and Tyler just made this point in my chat just now. 23XI didn't get the cars from GGR until like a month before Daytona. They didn't really have a
Yeah,
lot of time to work on them.
that's a little bizarre.
Yeah, and
Uh,
like we're talking
and
about a
then
guy that in petty equipment went past Kyle Busch for the lead at Bristol Motor Speedway, ran third at Indianapolis, and has overachieved in that car. It's not a driver problem with that 2311 team.
and then
Yeah, I don't
also
think it is. I would agree. I think it's equipment issues and just them getting started and it being rough so far.
in the part
I'm just expressing concern.
I'm concerned too for the team, not for the driver, but
Yeah,
because I'm sure I hope they realize that it's probably a team issue right now.
Well,
I
I'm just
think
saying, what if
give
they're
them
running?
at least through half the season before we start judging
Absolutely.
on them, just because they probably need time. Kind of like Trackhouse. I mean, they've still been outperforming 23XI, but I think so far they've looked like they could be pretty decent
Yeah,
too
Vegas was
since
the
Coach's
roughest one
boosted
so
things.
far, other than the 500, which I mean we don't count Daytona, but Vegas was the roughest one for them.
before they finished like 16th and 15th,
Yeah, and then obviously 28th or something like that,
and they
29th
got
at
RCR
Vegas.
stuff too.
26.
That's the thing is they have RCR equipment. They're not supposed to be running good right
I
now.
genuinely, I
Mid
don't think
15s,
RCR
tens.
is as bad as
I don't think it
everybody
is.
makes them out to be. I think they're better than
They
what
don't
people say
start
they
good.
are.
They don't ever start good. I noticed that a lot of the years coming, like they don't start great. Like once they get down to like the middle point of the season and like playoff time, then they start showing up.
And
I
and
think
they're showing up
RCR
with
is kind of at the same level as Chip Ganassi.
no, no.
I
They're
think
Chip
below
Ganassi's
Ganassi
better.
doesn't have that good of equipment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's still better though than RCR
It's
personally.
definitely better.
I look at Trackhouse. Aim for a top 25 in points would be a good goal.
Yeah, for the
I
first seasons,
yeah,
definitely.
I think Suarez is. I really hope they back him for a long time because it can. If they
I think
work
they
at
will.
it, they can
How
build
long is his
something there.
contract? Just for a year?
That team, like even though Suarez is the driver, he also seems like he's a big part of the like runnings of the team and how the team runs and everything. So I think he's their driver.
I don't think they
I think
specified
he's
how
the one
long
they
the
stick with.
contract is, but Suarez gets
Most
thrown a
NASCAR
lot of 1 year
contracts
deals.
aren't.
I think the longest contract he's had is 2.
Most contracts at this point are 1 year, so
I would
Especially
hate.
with the new thing, with the new regulations and new manufacturers,
yeah.
potentially new manufacturers and stuff coming out next year.
Or you have things where I believe this is what Eric Jones's deal is that it's 2 years, but the second year is Eric's
He can
choice.
leave if he wants.
It's
Yeah.
up to Eric if
If
he
he
wants
gets
to
something
stay.
better, he can leave.
Well,
if he
Eric made a
wants
good
to.
case for himself at Vegas, though. Top
Yes,
10.
he did.
Didn't see
And
that coming.
On pure merit too.
And
Basically.
I think it'll probably be the last top 10 at a mile and a half this year for that team. Not because of a driver, but I think the team's just not good.
We'll see. I mean, hey, bring that car to more tracks. I think probably a good start.
I don't know if it's me, but like, does it seem like they're very scared to put a lot of funding into that car, or is it just me?
What, Richard Petty?
Yeah.
I think is they can't find any.
Well, I mean, the guy's gotta be loaded, no?
Who?
Richard Petty.
No.
No, no. They just. Eric's my favorite driver, but I'm gonna lie. He ain't gonna be attracting that many sponsors with his personality over here.
I mean, he's got decent sponsors now, to be honest.
Well, Medallion Bank isn't a sponsor.
Armor All.
Well, we don't know how many races it's gonna be because originally it was only supposed to be one, but he got the second one at Homestead. He's got the Tide ride for one race.
And he's got the Air Force.
For
That's what
two.
He's got Air Force for
two.
some amount.
Yeah.
Two.
It's like, what else are you gonna do?
And WWX or whatever it was said they're not sponsoring them. So I don't know.
I know Bubba's showcasing the McDonald's car this week. I know that for
oh,
sure.
that's cool. Can't wait to see that.
Well, hopefully it's better than red
Chastain.
and
A cut off M on the back. Like,
yeah, Jesus. That car is
And the M on the bottom that's like scribbled.
that car is something else. Ross
Chase is getting
Chastain, by
Indy
the way.
first.
He's Ross Chastain. I mean, doing what I expected personally.
Yeah, I know they left him.
Where did Chastain finish?
Let's look.
22nd.
No,
23rd.
23rd.
Oh, geez,
Shocker
one
there.
spot. God.
God, he's not running much better than Kenseth. Oh no.
I mean, he's keeping the car on track more though.
And not wrecked.
Well, put him in the top 10. He'll probably wreck it.
Wow, yeah. No, he'll be like, holy crap, I'm a Cup champion now, and then he's just gonna go over his head and start wrecking people and throw blocks again.
Bowman almost got killed at the end of the race.
Yeah, Anthony Alfredo needs some dude wipes after that.
Yeah, that was scary.
I still gotta watch that radioactive from that.
Yeah, you too.
My assumption is he was unaware the 48 was pitting.
Well, Bowman, it was pretty urgent for Bowman.
Yeah, it was last second.
Yeah, I don't blame anyone in the situation. It was just like a oh my god moment.
Hey, imagine if a caution comes out, how much that changes everything.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
Teddy.
that's wild restart. But,
The restarts were wild.
yeah, those were really fun to watch. I mean, the racing overall was good. I always ask at the end, do we vote yes or no on was it a good race? I mean, I think it's a yes for
That
everybody.
was a great race.
Yeah, great. I don't even care where Chase finished. It was great. I mean, he was good in the beginning. It's just freaking track position, stupid shit.
According to the Jeff Gluck poll, that was the highest Las Vegas race
was
ever,
88%.
or whatever.
88%.
Yeah.
That was the best finish for Chase at Vegas in a minute.
I'm just gonna. It's weird that Chase is fourth in points and he only has one top 12 finish.
Oh, he's got a stage one.
Yeah.
It's just how weird the season's been so far.
Oh, he's got coverage.
With who
and
has
quiet-
and who hasn't been
yeah.
good.
And quietly, Hamlin has a 38-point lead.
Yeah, he's been quiet but good.
Yeah, 38-point lead by the way already.
Should be interesting next week.
I don't think that lead will stay that way, honestly.
I don't know. He's been running good.
Mark Martin of the league.
Yes, and let's just quickly say Allmendinger won an Xfinity race and
Hog.
John Hunter won a truck race, and that's
Hog.
what we're gonna talk about.
I think
And Haley Deegan got screwed again.
the only thing I want to mention about any of those two races is on the Truck Series side. I saw a NASCAR official was on Sirius XM or whatever on one of those shows talking about how NASCAR needs to stop being so lenient on intentional spins.
Yeah,
Kyle
know.
Busch intentionally spun his
Kyle
truck out,
Busch.
no question about it. And of course, got no penalty for it.
They need to develop a policy with that stuff where it happens and like there's no cars in danger. You don't need to throw a caution.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
If they're
the
not
where he
spinning in
spun the
front of the
truck,
field or something, then
he was spinning down to like off the racing surface. He was.
I didn't watch truck race. Why did he do it?
I don't know. I wasn't paying enough
Gotta fly
attention because
there.
we were doing
Gotta fly
online
that for-
races.
He had a
Yeah, he
flat
had a
left
flat
rear.
tire and he spun to get a caution.
He's on the apron. He did it. It literally
On a
was blatant as
straightaway.
day on
On a
purpose.
straightaway.
It was blatant as purpose.
Yeah.
It was pretty much as blatant as Bubba's at Texas.
And when Bob went to interview him after the race, he didn't want to talk about
ignored
it. He just said no.
Well, when Bubba admitted that he did it at Texas,
You got a fine.
So what
you
happened?
know, he lost 50 points.
Oh yeah. What is Kyle gonna get? A freaking suspension out of a truck?
Yeah, I mean Kyle doesn't care. Well, obviously he cared a little bit. Just
You
say
can't
no
penalize
more.
him in Cup because he didn't do it in Cup. Like, well, what? What are you gonna do to him?
The only thing
Fine.
you can do is a money fine on that one.
Oh no, he'll make it up in the next race.
Exactly. But I mean, we see drivers in Cup
I mean,
do
you
it.
can find
Look,
him owner points.
Joey
so,
Logano's done it. I mean, the one I think back to is when him and Hamlin got together at Martinsville and cut his tire. Logano blatantly spun himself out. Actually, I think when Brad cut Jeff Gordon's tire down at Texas, Jeff spun out on purpose.
Yeah, I watched that replay.
Yeah, you know
recently,
that was
a
on
couple weeks
purpose.
ago, and I thought the same thing.
I mean, but that was our only chance to salvage a season. So it's like at the same time, when if I get completely screwed over by someone cutting my tire, I'm gonna crash on purpose and make sure I don't crash my car. In the playoffs, the way the playoff system is, you do everything possible to save your season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously at this point in the season, there's no point to be wrecking yourself on purpose. But
Combat just said intentional spin. You should just lose 500K immediately. That should be the penalty.
I mean,
I seriously think it should be, if that happens, if someone blows a tire and that happens, and there's no immediate danger, you just don't throw a caution.
yeah, I mean, they just made it even worse on themselves. So like, because when Kyle was spun there, he was off the racing surface. Like I said, there was no reason for a caution. So, but I mean, I guess it's like they can't determine right away if the guy did it on purpose. Usually, though, it's obvious. But we've seen it a lot.
Well, it doesn't even have to be determined on purpose. Like if literally like the
Well,
point
yeah,
of cautions is because there's an immediate threat, like to safety or like there's something on the track that they need to slow down for. If a driver just spins with a tire and no one's around him, and he's like near pit road or whatever, or he easily can make it back around, then just don't even throw the caution. There's no point.
That pretty much sums up the Xfinity and truck stuff. We're at about an hour and a half now, so we'll touch on some nitro as well as we'll get some questions in the live chat if possible to end the podcast. But we'll jump into the nitro side of things now here real quick. So we just had Dover in the playoffs, the middle race.
One of the I'm gonna say one of the oddest Cup races we've ever had.
One of the dumbest ones I've been a part of.
Matches Homestead from last season is
after
interesting.
After Homestead Miami last season, I was like, I'm not gonna put myself in that fuel saving mode. So I just went the whole time. It's boredom and just I hate fuel saving. And that's what that race was.
For not just staying out in stage 2.
Well, the dumb thing looking back at Homestead, going hard was the call. Like if you went hard from the start of that run, you would have won.
Yeah.
Because Bryce was trying to save fuel and he just said screw it, after like 5 laps, and if he did it 1 lap earlier, he would have won the championship. But
technically, without the pushing, he would have won it either way. But with Andrew getting pushed, it got him the championship. So
what do you have to say about that, Eddie?
About what?
About the pushing there at Miami.
I don't think Eddie was a part of that.
I will no. It was MJ in Combat. I was trying to win the race, and freaking I pitted along with Bryce to try to make up time, and I passed Bryce. I would have won the race almost.
But I guess
the entire race, the entire Dover race was fuel mileage.
To sum up my race, I finished 3rd or 4th. That was it. I mean, I didn't really care. I
won a stage and got money, poggers.
Eddie won a stage. Jay won stage 1.
Fuel mileage stage.
The one we want to
screw. And me and Jay both won a stage.
The one we want to talk to though, is Matt.
Hey,
he won the race.
I did win the race.
And elaborate.
Feels great.
What did you do?
I saved fuel.
Fuel mileage.
What happened? How'd you win? What happened at the finish? Any contact? Anybody around you?
Well, let's see. It was a cat and mouse game with me and Andrew because we were both saving gas.
He was the mouse, you were the cat.
Well, the interesting is that when we came out of pit road with like 38 to go or something, he was ahead of me. So I went and passed him. So I don't know exactly what he was doing, but I passed him. I was like, okay, and then I just managed to gap to him for the entire race, and then I knew I was gonna run out. I just didn't know where. And luckily, it was in turn 4, and luckily Andrew was right behind me when I ran out, so he had literally nowhere to go except push me.
Sounds like Homestead.
Yeah, but he didn't want to push me. Is the difference?
Oh no! And then he got almost by you, and you just turned right at the start finish line.
I mean,
Oh.
by the time I hit him, it didn't even matter. So
Imagine if you wrecked him and he didn't even cross the start finish line. Oh dear.
Worth it. But
that'd have been big.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, the most surprising thing was Karma not winning XDDDDD last week."
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Yeah, and then everyone was talking about, oh, so you didn't have that crap luck in the last round, even in the final 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was literally just about to say that if you didn't get lagged out of those 2 races, you would be in the final 4 right now.
Yep. But like I said, I even said before the playoffs, I cared more about winning our race than the title at this point. So
What's next on that list?
what do you mean next?
I don't know. You said cross off the list on winning a race. What's next? What we got next?
Oh shit!
Win another
Next
championship.
Focus on next season at this point. I don't know.
Oh, that 43.
We all know who's gonna win this probably.
Gary.
I'm gonna try, but I mean, I don't think I'm going to.
I can't hope and pray for a championship when I can't even.
Better hope it doesn't come down to fuel save again.
If Martinsville comes down to fuel saving, I don't know what the heck we did wrong.
No, I'll talk about Homestead.
No, to Homestead.
Homestead. Yeah, we're going to
Phoenix.
Phoenix. If Phoenix comes,
Shit.
If Phoenix comes down to fuel saving, I'm just gonna pause B.
Oh, it's possible.
I'm gonna pause B.
I don't know.
Pause B.
No, I'll pause B and protest. Say you guys can go have it and whatever. I'm not being a part of it.
But
well, there's a difference between fuel saving and the stupidity of last year at Miami. If it
where
goes to that,
half throttle.
Yeah, if it gets to that again, I'm pause being and to say you guys can go and have your dumb little race like that. I'd rather give the race away and make a point than be a part of the championship.
But what point are you making though?
That they're being idiots.
But
I've already known that.
Winning a race makes you an idiot. That's an interesting.
No, just the way they're doing it.
No, he thinks fuel saving is being an idiot. That's what he thinks.
No,
just going like half throttle.
Like it's dumb. It's not fun. But like if you want to win, then you do what you do to win a race, right?
Yeah, just don't be a complete moron about it. And I was a part of the being a complete idiot last year at Miami. I was a stupid idiot for trying the same strategy as Andrew.
Yeah.
All of us were a part of it.
Bryce was the only one that was smart.
Like if you're saving a bit of fuel, like a normal thing is whatever. But when you're going like as hard
Bryce
as
followed
we did,
my exact strategy. About.
Well, yeah. It was also nice to get the win. So one last win before I leave the 20.
2 races left in the nitro
That 43 is gonna feel great, huh?
Sure. I'm definitely going to the 43.
And dude.
Moving on to the final segment of the day.
Well, we got Martinsville coming.
Yeah, that'll be
interesting.
All right, but moving on.
Combat.
Huh?
Who makes it, Tyler or Combat?
I don't give a crap in the world.
Combat. Combat makes it. He's a threat for the championship. Calling it now.
Yeah, I say Combat.
I mean, preferably Combat.
It would be a good story.
I like Combat. He's one of the most I like. One of the most I like. One of the ones I like the most.
It'd be a good Final Four. It'd be Gary, Andrew, even in Combat. That would be good. We didn't do our predictions for next week either for Phoenix, by the way.
Who cares?
Okay.
Kevin Hart.
I'm going with Brett Keselowski.
Kabush.
Jay has no opinion.
I can't think of one again.
Chase Elliott, come on, he won the last race there.
Yeah, I'll go with Elliott.
Let's have a
Why not?
vote as well before we move on to the final segment. Do you think Phoenix will be boring? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should the championship race be at Homestead? Yes.
No, yes. Wow.
Maybe.
How about Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yes.
Should it
Yes.
be anywhere other than Phoenix or Pocono?
Yes.
Yes.
I would love to see the
Or
championship race at Bristol.
Let's do the no. Well,
I mean,
wait.
no.
You talking about Bristol Dirt or Bristol?
Bristol.
Okay. Preferably, I still think.
Under the lights
You know,
at
you know
Bristol.
what the ultimate championship race will be Martinsville. We have like a Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin move for the championship win. Oh,
I would
nothing better.
I would karate
Oh,
chop you so
dude.
fast.
Dude,
I didn't say it specifically happening to Chase. I just meant like something like that happening for the championship. Oh man, that's
Iconic.
NASCAR.
Don't poke a bear, Jay.
that would be iconic. Like that
Combat
is.
just said he might do that to Tyler if he has to make it in the
I
final four.
mean, we see what people are willing to do to try and make the final four at Martinsville. Just imagine going for a championship at
Well,
Martinsville.
Combat texted me already saying don't be in front of me because he's gonna wreck me if he has to.
The way I look at it is there's only one short track that is deserving of the championship race. That's Martinsville. Man, they put on some great playoff races there. Every time we go there in the playoffs, I'm like, something crazy is going to happen today. And every time it happens. But yeah, that should be they have to do a championship race that one year. I think they will. But I guess we'll move on into the final segment. Or do we have any questions today? Anybody in the Twitch chat?
Anybody in the chat want to ask questions? I mean, we got 8 people in here. Let's get it. What we got?
We can
Anybody?
get a couple people.
Anybody quick? Combat, say something quick. He said give him a minute. Anybody? I know, what's his name was in here? Tyler's been lingering. Not like Tyler from the league. Tyler's not really a question, but Gary, what do you think of my Daniel Suarez paint scheme mod for NASCAR 5?
I honestly, I have barely been in Discord the last like day or two because I've been working on a lot of stuff. But I'll definitely make sure to check it out. If it's a Daniel Suarez paint scheme, I'll probably like it though because I'm a big Suarez fan.
There was one posted in
It's in
your
the paint
Discord
scheme
that I'll read
section.
off. It says, "Do you think Kyle Larson and Hendrick Motorsports will continue to dominate the speedways?"
Yes.
My short answer would be yes.
I wouldn't say dominate, but I think he's definitely going to win some more.
I think he's top 5 quality every speedway.
Larson and Hendrick in general.
Oh, Larson and Hendrick. Oh, yeah.
I think Hendrick's top 10 every week, my opinion.
I think this is
in
going
my
to be.
opinion, Hendrick went from being the old and crusty team. There was like, your time is now, old man, to this like just really talented young really good crew chiefs and really good drivers that can dominate everything again.
I think it's going to be a huge year for Hendrick Motorsports.
I agree.
I think they win more than 10 races as a team. I think they win the championship again.
They only need a couple to pass Richard Petty for the all-time wins.
You look at last year, they won the championship, but they were still, in my opinion, a mediocre team. Elliott was really just leading the thing. But and that's the thing nowadays is like with the playoff system. I mean, as a whole team, you can have a mediocre year but still win the championship. But
call it mediocre.
Do you think Stewart Haas will kick at the end of the season? What?
Kick what?
Yeah, what are we kicking?
Like kick ass, maybe? I don't know. That's my guess.
If it's kick ass at the end of the season, no.
Do you think Stewart Haas will kick at the end of the season? I mean, kick like Eric Almirola off the team? No, because he's got money.
Should they? Yes.
Yes.
Should they? Absolutely.
And hire Matt DiBenedetto instead? Yes.
Eric Jones.
Maybe.
Yes.
Eric Jones. Oh, like start getting beat.
Better.
Oh, start getting better.
I mean,
how about your English is questionable, mate?
I would rather say this was just a really off week. Like they just missed.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like I think that maybe the team is not as bad as we think, and maybe it's just obviously we know Briscoe's a rookie, so give him a break. And like I mentioned before, Almirola is meh. Bad setup race for Harvick, and then Cole Custer, we don't yet know what he can do. So
I don't think Cole Custer is ever going to be a threat for a championship.
So I think maybe once Briscoe gets some more experience in a Cup car, because he's never driven anything like a Cup car before. Trucks are the most comparable thing to it, and even those aren't really that close to what a Cup car drives. So Give him some time, maybe, and we'll see him get a little more competitive. We won't see him competing for wins, in my opinion, but
Will there be a new?
Stewart Haas overall, I mean, certainly with Harvick, I think they'll still be in championship contention.
Will
Oh,
there
that's
be
it.
a
Will be
new
a new
champ
champion.
this year?
Will there be a new champion this year? Considering Denny Hamlin is not a champion yet, yes.
No.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree.
Denny Hamlin,
Not saying Hamlin, but a new
he
champion.
will.
Yes, I'd
Denny
say
Hamlin
that
will
with
win
that.
the championship this year. I said it
Denny
last
Hamlin's
year.
Mark Martin.
I said it in 2019. I didn't mean it. I said it last year. I didn't mean it. I mean it this year.
Yeah, huh?
The fact that he's made the Final Four so many times, and I
Mark
don't want.
this on your calendar, boys. Anybody listening is the
Somebody
day
quote
that
this in Gary's
I don't-
Discord.
Gary said that Hamlin will win the championship this year, and come back to Rose's man on this podcast.
Aside from him losing the championships, him making the Final Four like this many times is really impressive. But yeah, hopefully, hopefully he, like I said, he will win the championship this year.
I don't think there's a new champion. I think it's gonna come out of Hendrick again. Will it be Chase Elliott? Hopefully, but I honestly think if Larson
William
keeps
Byron.
the momentum going, it'd be
No.
nice. No.
William Byron's winning it.
I honestly can see Larson pulling a Kevin Harvick first year in a new team win a championship.
Yeah, he could.
It's partially why I partially don't.
I mean,
believe
yeah, like
it.
the immediate two that I think of as new champions that could win it this year, either Hamlin or Larson. And I think Larson has the better chance.
I don't think
Hamlin's
there's
the
any.
Hamlin's Mark Martin of the sport.
Yeah, but I
If
look
you
at
think
Hamlin as he can put it together.
Yeah, he can. It's just at a different track.
Other than Hamlin,
He's had a lot of chances to, and he hasn't done it yet. So
all I'm saying is, every time like we got rid of Miami, what's he do when we get rid of Miami being the finale? He goes and wins at Miami. He wins at Phoenix. What happens when we make Phoenix the finale? He goes and flops at Phoenix. Come on, man. That was unfortunate, but what was I gonna mention? Other than Hamlin and Larson, I can't think of a driver without a championship that I would consider to be even a semi threat.
But like the thing with the format,
Bowman.
with how this format is, all you really have to do is win 2 races. That's all you need to do. It doesn't matter how far
But
you're
you still
behind.
got to be consistent.
Well, technically, you can win a championship with this format by winning 5 races and not having a single top 10 other than those 5 races. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're in that position, you're not gonna. I mean, that's never gonna happen. Like we know that.
Yeah,
but like mathematically speaking, it is possible, but it will never happen. But it's weird. But like
Bowman can go. He's pretty good at Kansas. Let's say he makes round of 8, he wins Kansas. He's got a shot at winning the title now. You know, in the round of 8, if he makes round of 8, he wins Kansas, then he's in the Final Four.
Yeah, I would say other than Larson and Hamlin, Bowman is like the next immediate one that I think of as a potential new champion.
Hey, we gotta remember, freaking Matt Crafton won a championship, not winning a single race.
Yeah, people give him a lot of crap for him and on the system. I respected it. He was consistent enough and did what he had to do to win the championship. Could have done the exact same thing on a 36 race format without a win.
Another sleeper pick could be Blaney. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but you know,
Blaney.
No.
I mean, he'll probably be 13th in points or something, then get eliminated in round 1. I think.
Yeah.
No, I think he can make it to the round of 12.
No.
He made it to the round of 8 in the 21 car.
No.
At Matt DiBenedetto.
No.
You guys don't like Ryan Blaney.
No.
I think
he's better than.
He's a damn choke artist.
Hey, I tell you what.
Choke artist.
He hasn't done anything this year so far.
I'm just pissed because people were actually thinking at one point that freaking Blaney was gonna be better than Elliott. How'd that turn out?
In my opinion, in terms of just raw racing talent, I think they're solidly close.
No, they are. They are.
Yeah, Chase Elliott is a good stock car driver. I don't think he's the type of driver that could be good in anything that you put him in. There's different. You got drivers that are good in anything. You got drivers that are good at just one select thing. Chase Elliott isn't going to be good in everything. He's not that type of driver. Kyle Busch absolutely could be good in anything. Fernando Alonso, in my opinion, is like the one guy I look at as well. He's good at anything.
In my opinion.
Like Tyler in here is saying Blaney has 4 wins, but I feel like none of them are really that impressive.
He's
Pocono
never dominated a
Pocono
race and
impressed me.
finished in.
Yeah, Pocono was like the impressive one, but like the Roval win, the leaders wrecked each other. Oh, and you won 2 Talladega races. One where you had to wreck like half the field at the end to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never like
He's never had a win where he's dominated a race and won. He
I
hasn't had
don't
that win
I
yet.
don't look at a plate win as ever as impressive unless you controlled the whole race. And I haven't seen someone
Yeah.
control a plate race since like Dale Earnhardt Jr. In like 2015. That's like the last time I've seen someone actually control one of those things. So
I mean, basically, if you want somebody to build around for a couple years to win races and do other stuff, who are you going with, Elliott or Blaney?
in NASCAR, Chase Elliott,
Exactly.
hands down. I mean,
Well, I mean,
Ryan Blaney can't do anything.
Chase kinda can like drive other certain stuff. Like he proved it in trucks. He beat Kyle at Charlotte.
I'm talking about kind of a non-NASCAR perspective though.
No, I know. You don't watch a lot of the stuff like I do, like with him and stuff. But like he did the Snowball Derby again. He got second to Ty Majeski, and Ty Majeski's an iRacing god. So it's like freaking. It's hard to beat him when
And
he hasn't
non-oval
raced it in so many
racing.
years. I mean, it's a short track.
Yeah,
Well,
but I'm talking about other diversity or other types of racing, like road racing
I
and
know,
stuff. And
but like he did the dirt racing. I mean, he didn't do as good as everybody hoped so. But then once he started doing it more and more, then he got better. But it's like the road racing he's good at. I mean, the Rolex 24 was his first year, and he's gonna do it again. He said next year, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he does. But I mean, I don't know. I just think he needs like more time, like everybody else does. I mean, shit. Kyle didn't do good in his first time, I think, either. To be honest.
in
Kyle
what?
Busch?
Yeah, I don't think he did good in his first Rolex, right?
Oh, I don't. He ran in a slow GT4 or
Yeah,
something.
he
so
ran
who
in a
knows?
Lexus or something.
Yeah, I don't.
Weird
I
shit.
couldn't even tell. I didn't even know what he
And
did.
Chase was in a DPI, literally.
Yeah.
It's like
To get back to the conversation of Blaney though, like honestly, I mean, we know, like we've seen him get mad and then just kind of go on to a tirade and just basically like lose all control. So I think a big thing with him is he gets too far into his head and loses his control and all that kind of stuff. But then another thing that like I think him racing at Penske, it almost seems like he races in the shadow of Keselowski and Logano and like is not able to be his own person a little bit and just like feels controlled almost. I don't know. He just seems like he's not comfortable there, and that may be also hindering his performance a bit because he doesn't
Or
seem
just signed a
to.
multi-year contract to stay there.
Well, I mean, where else is he gonna go? You know?
Well, that's a big problem with a lot of drivers.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it seems like to me he's just racing in their shadow, and just kind of like there. He's not like able to because we know Blaney's a big personality, obviously. And he just seems to just kind of be a zombie almost with Penske and not really able to express himself and it kind of hinders his performance in my opinion.
I mean, they let him keep his hair long. That was a big step.
True.
Like straight up, Penske doesn't like long hair. They like their drivers looking professional.
He didn't like the mustache thing either.
I mean, he didn't. Actually, he looked way better than Chase Elliott did, though. That's for sure. Oh my God, is Elliott still rolling with that?
No, he's not.
Good. Oh my God, that was one of the worst. That was. I mean, it wasn't as bad
I'm
as.
not gonna lie. I'm a fan of like facial hair like that, but his handlebar mustache did not look good for him. It
That
looked
was the worst one since Brett Moffitt, but Brett Moffitt was still way worse. I think
like
Moffitt still
Gary
has
has
it.
a hate boner for all facial hair, so just ignore his opinion. But
What
like,
else was new?
man, just ugh.
No, I think
His
Alex
handlebar
Bowman.
mustache did not look good.
I think Alex Bowman's got good facial hair. this
That actually just pissed me off.
That's how you that's right there is Gary's
I
opinions
just
and why
said
you don't listen
freaking
to him.
Bowman's
He's just
facial
got
hair
like just a bit of
is the
stubble.
best.
He's just got a bit of stubble.
It's
That's all it is.
patchy. He
Like what
doesn't
I
have
have.
facial hair. It's just
It's literally
patchy.
like what I have. It's literally
Yeah,
just
it
patches.
still looks better than what Elliott had.
What the hell?
What?
I guess Gary thinks I'm like I have facial hair, so I guess he hates me secretly or something. So
No, because yours looks better than Chase Elliott's.
I'm surprised you can be
I mean, I
a
have a
fan of
thing-
Hamlin since he has a beard.
Yeah, but Hamlin's doesn't look bad.
Oh my god! Like
See, this is why we
It's,
don't
like,
listen
so
to Gary's
triggering.
opinions.
I think.
His
Well,
opinions are the most stupid thing in the world.
I think mainly it's just mustaches. Like,
I don't know.
nah.
I know. I added a channel point just
Did-
saying
did
Karma
you
can get a
s-
haircut.
Did you see that Brett Moffitt shirt that they were selling?
No.
It was just like little cartoon picture, and it says Brett, and then it has a little mustache cartoon on it, like scribbled, like you did it with like a marker or something. They all sold out already, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna buy merch from that guy, based off what he says on Twitter about certain drivers. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that really kind of sums everything up. We talked about NASCAR 21, iRacing, NASCAR Cup Series at Las Vegas, Nitro, and then facial hair on NASCAR drivers. That was my favorite segment of the night right there.
Gary talked about facial hair on
That
drivers.
was my favorite segment of the night right there.
I need therapy. Is it 12 o'clock yet? Oh, it is. I can start drinking
It
now. It's my
is.
birthday, finally. Hallelujah.
So I think we'll call it there then.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, Karma's got to go to bed. He's got to go to work.
yeah, old man.
But yeah.
Dude, work,
So
man.
what time you work tomorrow?
7.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Well, I get up at 7:30, but I don't even want to talk about today.
Oh, it's Eddie's birthday now.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Eddie.
At birth.
Combat just said have party, call me a forehead. Alright, guys, call me a forehead.
Happy birth anniversary.
Birth anniversary, yeah.
How old are you?
Birth forehead.
24. Kids?
Oh my god.
Get old. I'm at my Kobe year right now. So this should be interesting.
Aren't you the same?
No helicopter.
Aren't. So it's good time to end it right here. Are you the same age? Are you the same age as Matt then?
No. 5.
25. Man, you guys are old.
22 in just over a month.
Yeah, Jay's birthday's coming up.
Jonathan,
I don't know.
Don't call me an old man.
I don't know when
I
Matt's
will
birthday
roast
is.
Mine?
Yeah,
Mine was a month ago.
I'll remember next year. Did I tell you happy birthday this year?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought Gary and Larry just forgot it.
No,
This sounds so bad.
No,
Don't worry. Okay, let me hang on. I've known Gary since 2012. Gary wins my birthday.
Next month.
What day?
Is it really?
The 16th.
No, my point exactly.
23rd.
Good friend.
No.
13th.
No.
10th.
No.
One of the days in April.
Hey, Jonathan,
you
when's
would
your-
be correct. Yes.
Hey, Jonathan, when's your birthday again?
Wait, Jay, I'm gonna write it down in my reminders. Yeah, I always forget. It's been how many years and I still forget. Jay's like literally my best friend. No offense to you boys.
Your first guess is always 2 days off. You guess it every single time. Your first one is always the 16th.
18th.
Oh my
18th.
god, no
Yes,
shot.
my birthday is the 18th.
Oh my god.
There we go. I got it.
That's the worst birthday I think I've ever seen. Oh my god. That's really his birthday? Oh no.
Oh, Jonathan, your birthday's
no.
close to mine then.
No.
He's only like 11 days after me.
I don't think we get the point though, Gary.
We're recording a podcast.
I'm not gonna say the date on the podcast.
So,
but it's not the greatest.
we would of course like to thank you all for coming out today.
Yeah, can we get a sponsorship finally?
Please, YouTube. This somehow. I said when we started this is going to be the shortest one. This is actually the longest one we've ever done.
What?
Straight up.
We just talked about random stuff.
We need more interesting stuff, man.
Eddie, you said we might have a guest lined up.
Yeah. I mean, we just gotta get in contact with them a little bit more in the coming weeks or so. You want me to say who it is, or you want to just keep it a secret?
Yeah, I would just say who it is.
So I've been in contact with Coca Series driver Derek Justice, driver of the 37 Kroger Chevrolet. So see if we can get him on.
I'm genuinely curious how the conversation happened because I didn't actually like.
That's thanks to your video for Mr. Shieldhouse and him asking me for the link for it. He just whispered me in Twitch and just asked like if it was a good video or a bad video, and I sent it to him and he was laughing. So I mean, I think it was a good video.
I thought it was great. Yeah, that makes me glad to know that like he watched it or something.
I mean, I'm about to show my
I
stream after we
was-
end this. To be
I
honest,
was in David's live chat, and the people were clicking on it. They were like, "Oh my god, that's great!" And I was like, "Hey." David couldn't show it because he didn't want to get
DMCA'd.
yeah,
Ah,
DMCA.
shit, yeah, I'm
He
not
played
doing
like
that either.
he played like the very start of it, and he's like, "Oh my god."
All right. Well, you guys can finish up. I really gotta go. So.
All right, Matt's heading out. We'd like to say thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. Make sure to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast platform it puts
Apple
us on, and
Podcast.
YouTube and stuff. But for myself, Jay, Eddie, and Matt, we're gonna head out and hope you all have yourselves a great night. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen, and have a good night, everybody. See you next time.